All right, so now we're going to work on problem number 4, which here says problem number 3, but we just did problem number 3, so there's an error here. Just note that this is problem number 4. Um, let's open up a new part file. This one I'm going to do in 2 parts. So first I'm going to do these back fins, and then we'll make this front shaft with the keyway. So let's start a sketch on our front plane to do this drawing here. So let's start off by making this arc. So let's use a circle. Um, Actually, before that, let's make this reference arc, this dashed blue line one, that is diameter 77. So from the center, 77 divided by 2 for our radius. Now we're going to make another circle in the vertical direction. That's center intersects that reference circle we made. And these have a diameter of 13. So the radius is 13 over 2. And we know that based on this gap here. We have 6 of them. So that's why it's 6 by 13. And 13 is the spacing. So we have our diameter there. Next, let's make this arc here, which is going to be given by this circle of radius 73. So let's make a circle from the center. And this one has a radius of 73. Okay. So now we have this arc, let's make this line connecting them. So from the quadrants, from the right quadrant, we'll make this first line. And then after that, we'll go over to the left quadrant and make a line there that is vertical. Okay, so we no longer need this line or circle. Let's delete that. What I'll do now is I want to sketch this arc and this line as well. So then we can fill the gap between them with this arc here. But to do that, I'm going to use my circular sketch pattern. For parameters, I'm going to select the center of this circle. What I want to pattern, I want to pattern this line. I want to pattern this line and then this arc as well. I'm only going to do 2 items for now. And we know this is 30 degrees here. So that means this is 30 degrees here, which means from here to here is 60 degrees because we have a right angle of 90. So 90 minus this 30 gives us 60 degrees here. So let's do 60 degrees for our spacing. That looks correct to me. So let's hit OK. Cool. So now we have these 2 lines, and I'll delete the outer lines. We'll actually, before we do that, let's hit undo. Let's trim this upper region. We don't need those. And then now let's delete these. Yes, we're going to confirm that. So now we have this shape here. Okay, so now to get this arc here specifically, we're going to make a reference circle. So let's make a circle from the center. And the one we'll be making is this 92 radius circle. So that's 92 in radius. Then we also know, we want to know where the center point for this arc is. So if we draw a line from the origin in this direction, this is going to be at 60 degrees. So if I draw a line from here, and then I know my line is 92 units long. So let's make this 92. And then for its angle, let's do 60. So at this point, we have an arc. And this arc here has a radius of 32, as seen in the sketch. So let's make this circle to be radius 32. Now we can delete this line and this line that we were using as a reference. And now you can see the remaining arc that we'll be keeping for this shape. So trim, we're going to trim this outside arc, and then also let's trim this inner arc. I believe we can get rid of this as well. And let's hit OK. Now we've made 1/6 of this overall shape. So what we can do is we can use our circular sketch pattern. Again, our parameter will be the center of all of this. What we want to pattern, we want to pattern everything we just drew. So this guy, these arcs as well, this one and this one. I want to have a total of 6. We want them to be equally spaced. And am I missing anything? I don't believe so. That looks fine. So there is our fin shape that we have going on. Last thing I'm going to do is just make a circle here in the middle. So we won't extrude this hole. Now let's find a radius for that. So we're given a diameter of 25. So 25 over 2 gives us our radius. Now we're ready to extrude. So let's go on over to extrude. The region that I want to extrude is this region here. Let's extrude this forward is fine. What is the thickness that we're going for here? It's 5 units. We're doing 5 units. So let's switch this to 5 millimeters. Hit OK. And there is that shape there. So now all we have to do is finish with this cylindrical shape and the keyway. So let's start a new sketch on this front face here. First thing we're going to do is recreate this circle of radius 12.5. We're going to make another circle also from the center for our outer shape. Let's find a radius for that. That is, where are you? Right here. So it's a diameter of 45. So that means radius is going to be 45 over 2. Okay. Now the last thing to do is to do this keyway here. So we have 6.5 is the distance going horizontally, and then 3.25 is your vertical distance for this keyway. So I could, let's make a regular line from this quadrant. Let's make this to be the 3.25. Now let's also do a midpoint line from this endpoint over. Let's make sure that's horizontal, and also let's lock in this midpoint here because we are about to change this distance and we do not want our midpoint to move. So let's change this to 6.5. 6.5. So we kept the same midpoint location, but our overall length was changed. That's good. Now let's finish off with some regular lines connecting the outside of this keyway to that inner circle. Make sure they're vertical lines. Okay, so we can delete this reference line that we had for our 3.25 dimension. And then also we can trim this inner region. We won't be needing that. Let's go ahead and finish this. Trim. So now we can hop on over to our features. I'm going to extrude. We'll be extruding this shape forward towards us by a thickness of, let's see, 17.5 minus 5 should be 12 and a half. So here it's 12 and a half. Go ahead and hit enter or OK. So I did have one mistake, and that's fine. We can always go back and fix it. The mistake was I did not create a space for this keyway to be cut out. Because as we can see on this sketch, the keyway goes all the way through. So this needs to be removed. And we can do that. We can do that by editing our original sketch for this extrusion. But the bad thing there is that since we're working on this sketch, our sketch from extrusion 2 is no longer visible. But that's fine. That just means we'll have to recreate this shape once more. So again, we already have our inner circle, which is the only one we need. Let's go ahead and do the same thing we did before. So let's make a line from this upper quadrant vertically. Now this is to be 3.25. Go ahead and zoom in. Let's make a midpoint line from this endpoint horizontally. Let's lock in this midpoint by fixing it. And then change this dimension to 6.5. Now let's close this shape with some vertical lines. Okay, so we can delete this, trim this piece of the arc. That's what we want. Go ahead and finish that trim. And then when we exit the sketch, hopefully there are no issues. So now you can see we have that cut all the way through. Now, alternatively, I could have made a separate sketch on that face and use extrude cut to get rid of this portion, but that would have added more complexity to my work tree here. So I decided to just edit my original sketch to keep it a little bit more clean. Now, if I just tilt this over to my isometric view, you can see that we have the correct part with the keyway hole cut all the way through and all our dimensions being correct. Thanks for watching.